At 8 o'clock, we got North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, traveling to the Utah State Aggies. This is actually supposed to be a closer game than I originally thought, looking at this game. The Utah State's actually only favored by 6.5 points in this game. Despite, this is on CSBS Sports Network, by the way. We're going to talk about Utah State first. The Aggies started out 1-0 this year, and it was an impressive win. I bet against them. I thought Washington State was going to beat them, but they got a 26-23 win over their Pac-12 North opponent. Now, the Pac-12 North, it was definitely cursed this week, with Oregon being the only team that came out on top, and it was a very close game against Fresno State. So, obviously, it wasn't a great week for the Pac-12 North, but Utah State pulled off one of a pretty huge upset last week. So, I mean, I think you got to give them props for that. Logan Bonner went 17-24, threw for 143 yards and a touchdown and a pick. Calvin Tyler Jr. had 14 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. Devin Tompkins had 8 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. So, again, it wasn't the most productive game through the air. And not a really huge day on the ground either, but it was enough to get them a win against a pretty, a Washington State team that is normally very good offensively. Now, how much of that was Mike Leach? I don't know. I don't know if many people can say. It probably was a good amount Mike Leach and his style of offense, but the fact is Utah State is a good football team this year. I legitimately believe that. I think in the Mountain West you got probably Boise State, Utah State, and I think Fresno State. I think those are the 3 teams that are going to be competing. Maybe San Jose State you can throw in there. They did give USC a game until like the 4th quarter. North Dakota, on the other hand, he started out with a pretty solid win, and they had a 35-14 W last week. Tommy Schuster, their starting quarterback, went 14 of 18 for 183 yards and a touchdown. Otis Way had 22 carries for 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. Crazy day for Otis Way. And Adam Zavalny had 2 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown, and they ended up intercepting the other team 3 times last week. So they were ball hawks out there, and Logan Bonner did make a mistake in the season opener throwing that interception. But the fact is, I really like Utah State. I think they had a very good game against Washington State. They came out on top against a Power 5 opponent. North Dakota, it's just the fact is North Dakota is not a top-tier team in the FCS. You got North Dakota State, you got probably South Dakota State, you got Sam Houston State, you got James Madison's definitely a team in there. I consider UNI a top-tier FCS team. North Dakota is not that. North Dakota, I'm sorry, Fighting Hawks fans, but they're just not top tier. They're not awesome. Now, I do think Utah State it's a solid team. I really think the Aggies have a good team built together this year. That's why I'm going to put my money on the Aggies. Give me Utah State to win this game and cover. I really like Utah State this year.